Good afternoon and welcome to the Public Service Commission. It is 2 p.m. on Thursday, August 18th. We are here for our weekly commission business meeting. Sorry, I'm not sure where March came from, but it is August. Let's take a roll call of commissioners. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioner Jay Williams, Vice Chair Powers, Commissioner Caston, Commissioner Carolee Williams. Appearing virtually, we have Commissioner Irvin, and on the telephone, I believe we have Commissioner Thomas. Please join me for a moment of silent reflection before we begin our agendas. Thank you. Mr. Scarborough, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon, Vice Chair Powers and Commissioners. The first order of business is to set the next Commission business meeting. Staff recommends the next regularly scheduled meeting be held on Wednesday, August the 24th at 2 p.m.
The next business meeting will be next Wednesday, August 24th at 2 p.m. Please note the change in the date, Wednesday, August 24th.
Thank you. There are 8 items on the utilities agenda today and 8 items on the motor carrier agenda. Item number 1 on the utilities agenda is in docket number 2022-157C. This is United Commercial Telecom, LLC's application for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to provide access services and local exchange telecommunications service, and for its local service offering to be regulated in accordance with procedures authorized for New South Communications, LLC, in Commission Order Number 1989-165 in docket number 1997-467C.
Commissioners, we've heard agenda item number 1. Is there a motion? Commissioner.
Chair.
Commissioner Irvin.
Thank you. I move that the Commission grant the application of United Commercial Telecom, LLC for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to provide access services and local exchange telecommunication services and for alternative and flexible regulation. I also move that the Commission grant United Commercial Telecom, LLC's request for waivers of South Carolina Code Annotated Regulations 103-607, 103-610, and 103-631, as well as 103-612.2.3. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Irvin. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Jay Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. The motion carries.
Item number 2 involves docket number 2022-141C. Staff presents for Commission consideration the petition of the North American Numbering Plan Administrator filed on behalf of the South Carolina telecommunications industry for relief of the 864 numbering plan area, NPR, or area code, and a request that a press announcement be released upon issuance of a final order regarding area code relief in the 864 area code.
Commissioners, you've heard item 2 described by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston.
I move that the Commission approve the petition of the North American Numbering Plan Administrator on behalf of the South Carolina telecommunications industry for relief of the 864 numbering plan area. Numbers in the 864 area code are expected to exhaust during the first quarter of 2025. The industry agrees on all services overlay, and all services overlay is the best solution. It would require 10-digit dialing, and it would require no one to exchange an existing telephone number. The expected implementation would take place over approximately 13 months and would have a projected life of 34 years. I further move that the Commission approve the request for a press announcement to be issued by the North American Numbering Plan Administrator after the final order.
Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Caston. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas? Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 3 on the utilities agenda is in docket number 2022-249C, which is a request of ComSouth Telecommunications Incorporated, doing business as Hargray, to withdraw its previously filed request for approval of the interconnection agreement between ComSouth Telecommunications Incorporated, doing business as Hargray, and Level 3 Communications, LLC.
Commissioners, is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Irvin?
thank you. I move that the commission approve the request of ComSouth Telecommunications Incorporated, doing business as Hargray, to withdraw its previously filed request for approval of an interconnection agreement between ComSouth Telecommunications Incorporated, doing business as Hargray, and Level 3 Communications, LLC. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Irvin. Commissioners, we've heard the motion made by Commissioner Irvin. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 4 is in docket number 2022-190C. This is Palmetto Telephone Communication LLC's motion for expedited review and request for approval of its application to expand its authority to provide local exchange and exchange access services to customers located in certain areas currently being served by TDS Telecommunications LLC, and a request for flexible regulation of local exchange service offerings.
Commissioners, we've heard item 4 identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I have a motion.
Commissioner Williams?
Thank you. I move that the request of Palmetto Telephone Communications LLC for expedited review be granted, as well as its request for expansion of authority of its local exchange and exchange access services to customers located in certain areas currently being served by TDS Telecommunications LLC as requested. So moved.
Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner C. Williams?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston?
I vote aye.
And I vote aye. I'm sorry, Commissioner Caston, I skipped you. I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 5 is in docket number 2022-188EC, which is Spectrum Southeast LLC's request for the commission to instruct York Electric Cooperative to identify its witness and make that witness available to other parties for deposition, videotaped if requested, on a mutually agreeable date in Columbia, South Carolina, within 7 days after the witness files his or her initial testimony.
Commissioners, we've heard the item identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Thomas?
thank you. Spectrum Southeast LLC has advised the commission that it is withdrawing its request to depose the co-op witness. I move that the commission accept withdrawal of Spectrum's request and no further action is needed at this time.
Commissioners, we've heard the motion from Commissioner Thomas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed with a roll call vote. Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 6 appears in docket number 2022-3E. This is Duke Energy Carolinas LLC's request for confidential treatment of Exhibit 3 in witness Stephen Capp's direct testimony.
With regard to item 6 identified by Mr. Scarborough, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston?
Thank you. I move that the commission approve Duke Energy Carolinas LLC's request for confidential treatment of Exhibit 3 to Stephen Capp's direct testimony. So moved.
Thank you. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Caston. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Item number 7 involves dockets 2022-93E and 2022-97E. Staff presents for commission consideration the final disposition of the applications of S.R. Lambert I LLC and S.R. Lambert II LLC for certificates of environmental compatibility and public convenience and necessity for the construction and operation of 2 100-megawatt solar facilities in Georgetown County, South Carolina, pursuant to South Carolina Code annotated 58-33-10, and renewed motion for approval to proceed with initial construction work.
Commissioners, with regard to item number 7, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion as well as a comment.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Thank you. I move that the commission approve the applications of S.R. Lambert I LLC and S.R. Lambert II LLC for certificates of environmental compatibility and public convenience and necessity for the construction and operation of 2 100-megawatt solar facilities in Georgetown County, South Carolina, and approve the renewed motion for approval to proceed with initial construction pursuant to SC Code annotated 58-33-1107. I further move that the owners file a report updating the commission in docket numbers 2022-93-E and 2022-97-E when all permits are issued for this facility. The report should identify all permits and licenses received, including the permit title or name, issuer of the permit, and the date of issuance. Finally, I move that the developers of S.R. Lambert I LLC and S.R. Lambert II LLC provide a report identifying best management practices for site selection and operations within wetlands. This shall include best management practices associated with or contemplating potential flood or extreme weather events. These best management practices shall be filed within this docket upon the completion of this development. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. We've heard the motion of Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion? Commissioner
Madam
Williams,
Chair?
you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair and fellow commissioners. I was impressed by the plans of S.R. Lambert I and II LLC involving planting wildlife, native plants, introducing grazing livestock, provisions for native wildlife, plans for dealing with flooding and high winds, and more. And that's in addition to the provision of 200 megawatts of solar energy. This site is planning to use and mitigate 1.34 acres of wetlands permanently and to use 122 acres of wetlands temporarily. Vice Chair Powers and I represent the coastal communities of South Carolina, which include an abundance of critical wetlands. The Lambert solar facilities are the first facilities that we have considered permitting under the Utility Facility Siting and Environmental Protection Act since I became a commissioner. This motion recommends the compilation of a report recording best management practices as understood by the developers of Lambert I and II upon the conclusion of the construction of this facility. recognizing that its owners and developers will have developed their own recommendations for best management practices going forward for both siting and developing amongst wetlands. For these reasons, I recommend this motion to the commission.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Caston?
And just for clarification, this is understanding that we have nothing to do with the permitting or wetland permitting, but this for information only, correct?
It's to gather this information in this docket.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Chair Powers?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Williams, I certainly join in your motion and appreciate the extra work you put into it. This is a first sighting case I felt like that I've had to deal with, and I thought it's very interesting because if there's ever a good example of having to balance interests, this is one. Our wetlands are precious, and the coastal counties, I mean, they trace it back to the beginning of life as far as what comes from our wetlands and from our marshes. And this is a case where those considerations had to be there. At the same time, it makes perfect sense to put some sort of coastal or solar unit where it's convenient or available for existing transmission. And that was, I think, why they were where they were. We ask a lot of questions, even up to the point of, if there were a doomsday event and hurricanes and that sort of thing. And I thought we got very good answers, very good responses, and a lot of patience from the witnesses when we dealt with them. But this is a good thing because of the benefits of both the transmission as well as the possible later retirement of coal plants. And it wasn't an easy case, but it certainly was an interesting case. And I think that you've come up with a very good solution, and I thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Commissioner Jay Williams?
Thank you, Madam Chair, for the commissioners. Commissioner Williams, I support your motion. Happy to support your motion. I definitely think the application should be approved, and the owner should be allowed to start construction. I want to fully understand the other pieces, the filing of the report, and the best management practice pieces. And this sort of comes out of the branch or out of the roots of the question Commissioner Caston asked. Considering we don't have anything to do, the commission doesn't have anything to do with the permits or being a reservatory for the best management practices, and considering that DHEC, I don't think required this information. I don't think they made an appearance in the case. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right. You're correct.
Is it a slippery slope maybe for us to require the owners to conduct this additional work? Not that it's not a bad idea, very, very good idea, but is it a slippery slope for us to require for the Public Service Commission to require this work as opposed to say DHEC or maybe the community in which the facility is being constructed? I'm not critiquing the motion. Right. I'm just sort of asking a practical question. And it's not just to you, it's any commissioner.
Well, I'll take it first, and I'll take it in the spirit of I understand and respect the question. The way the utility site facility, I always get the order mixed up, but the Utility Siting Facility Act also includes environmental protection. It includes the opportunity for 3 state agencies to participate as and comment. And you mentioned DHEC. It also includes Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, as well as Department of Natural Resources. It also requires the notification to local municipalities where significant or where relevant, or to the counties. I added included this in the motion in the spirit of this is kind of new territory in South Carolina. Those entities were all notified about this opportunity to comment. And I don't, based on your question, or in response to your question, I don't see this becoming a routine amendment to the Utility Siting Facility and Environmental Protection Act, where we have these requests. But I did think it was worthy of discussion and inclusion, given that we're in a learning curve opportunity in South Carolina for, for large solar facilities that are going to be constructed in our state going forward.
Madam Chair,
Vice Chair Powers?
let me add to that, one thing that I was kind of quizzical about was that there wasn't more local interest in this thing, but maybe people just didn't know, or there's no problem with it. The one thing that I think supports Commissioner Williams' position is they came before us and they do not have all necessary permits yet. They've still got to go through DHEC's Office of Coastal Resource Management. And we permitted something that's not, or we've approved something that's not completely permitted. And I, for one, would like to know that they jump through these final hoops and are successful with it. And without her language in there, I don't know that we would know. And for that reason, I support leaving it in.
Commissioner Caston?
Not trying to beat this dead horse, but I certainly understand all that. The area of wanting to know that all permits, what's the status of the permits, to me makes very good sense, and I think that's good information to ask for. And the only reason that I asked maybe for clarification on the last paragraph is, when it comes to best management practices and requirements for wetlands and this sort of thing, and I certainly understand the concern, share the concern and interest in that. But I don't know that I feel comfortable saying that, we require them to do that, as I'm not sure that falls in our purview. That said, if they have that kind of information, certainly want to share it for maybe our edification. I don't know that I'm clearing anything up, but I just want to make sure we understand that I don't think that, that we should require folks to do what the other regulatory agencies are responsible for requiring them to do, if that makes sense. That's all.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Williams?
Thank you. We're just requiring them in this motion. We would just be requiring them to record what they had learned from this, from being some of the most current entities to undertake this in wetlands. It's not like we're adding a small report, but I respect the slippery slope question.
Ms. Williams, Commissioner Williams, would you consider a friendly amendment in the last paragraph? Could we say, finally, we request that the developers provide a report? And then in the second sentence, this may include best management practices associated with so on and so forth. That makes it optional for this developer. I was very impressed with their presentation. They've obviously been working in other states, and they apparently have a very good track record with land management practices. And so I agree with you that we may learn some things that could be become a model for us to recommend to other solar developers as they come into our state. I'm like Commissioner Caston. I don't think we can require it, but it could become a model for others to consider. So would you consider, rather than making it shall means they have to, may gives them the option to. And I think the company will provide that best practices information, because they seem to be very conscientious corporate citizens and would be willing to share that information. But I don't know that we should mandate it, since it really is not a part of our regulatory statutory mandate. Would you consider that?
Commissioner Irvin, so
Yes,
you're suggesting or offering a friendly amendment that in the place of request identifies, in the place of move, places request, and then where it says shall, use may.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. I accept that friendly amendment.
Thank you. I think that way, it's not like we're mandating that they must or shall. There may be some cost associated with this. I don't know what those costs would be, but I think that they will respond. I think we'll hear from them, because they are very responsible and reputable solar company. And so I expect that we will hear from them. I just don't want to make it a mandatory requirement, because I don't believe we have the statutory authority for that at this time. Thank you. I appreciate you accepting that minor amendment. And I support everything else. I support everything else you said about it. Thank you.
Commissioners, anything
Madam
further?
Chair.
Commissioner Thomas?
Thank you. These are some excellent comments and thoughts, and I agree with what Commissioner Irwin just said as well. And one of the reasons that I agree with that is because these people are working hard, and basically, I guess they might be developing some, I wouldn't necessarily call it trade secrets, but something along those lines that we would be almost forcing them to divulge to competition. And might be a good thing, it might not, but that's my concern. So I support the friendly amendment and Commissioner Williams' motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Anything further, Commissioners?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner J. Williams?
Commissioner Williams, I think that it was a great idea to include these items for our discussion. As I listen to your explanation, it makes me wonder at some point in the future if we shouldn't request an allowable ex parte from DHEC and the other agencies that have a level of responsibility of review and oversight to see when the next time a facility seeks or files a siting application, is there anything we can do to aid and assist in the process? Because again, it was the first one, and maybe there's a gap that we can help fill, so we won't create duplicative requirements or make an applicant feel like we're making them do more than what's required by the law. So just something for all of us to think about.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. If there's no further discussion, we'll proceed to a roll call vote on the motion as amended, starting with Commissioner C. Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion as amended carries.
Item number 8 appears in docket number 2022-104E. Staff presents for commission consideration the following issues related to Commission Order number 2022-170. 1. the revelation of the sealed submissions of names of the filers and other relevant information as requested by the commissioners regarding the responses to the request for proposal solicitation number 54000-23177, issued pursuant to order number 2022-170. And 2, other administrative tasks related to the responses to the RFP, including but not limited to scheduling public interviews and scheduling deadlines for the parties in the affected docket to submit questions for the prospective consultant, and scheduling deadlines for the commission to provide the prospective external qualified independent third-party consultants or experts with proposed questions from the commissioners.
Chair recognizes Ms. Boyd.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon.
Our Procurement Director, Matthew Hall, is present and is available at your direction to open some envelopes regarding responses to the solicitation that Mr. Scarborough just referenced.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hall. Do you have some responses to the solicitation?
Good afternoon, I do.
Would you open those and publish those at this time, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody got a pocket knife?
I know, right? I need one. These aren't very sharp.
I don't think you can carry pocket knives anymore, can you?
Probably not.
I apologize.
It's not your fault. Just means they're sealed correctly.
All right, the agency received 3 offers in relation to this solicitation. The first offer was submitted by London Economics International, LLC. The second offer was submitted by PA Consulting Group, Incorporated. And the third offer was submitted by Siemens Industry, Incorporated.
Mr. Hall, thank you for being here today to provide us with those proposals.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate
I
that.
apologize for the delay right there.
It's not your fault. Just they were sealed appropriately.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Boyd, at this point, is there anything from you?
No, ma'am. I'm just grateful for the 3 interviews that the commissioner is going to conduct regarding
Okay.
those submissions.
Commissioners, I believe, is there any motion regarding a schedule or next steps? Commissioner C. Williams?
Well, Chair Belser, I wonder if it would be helpful to explain why this is on the agenda for anybody who might be following so closely and saw the opening last week.
Okay.
Is that-
Well, staff issued in the docket last week a notice there was a notice posted in the docket and on the directive last week. The bids that staff opened last week were in response to the integrated resource plans responses.
We had the wrong responses last week, is that correct?
We did, and we did properly notice provide written notice in the docket.
Yes, I mean, the clerk's office issued a notice of rescheduling and indicated that there was just an error last week and we had
That's
to
correct.
go again. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
And in addition, if I could add, Madam Chair, I also notified all 3 offers and alerted them to the administrative oversight on my part. It was due to personal and family illness,
Things happen, Mr. Hall.
but we did follow the general process as we would have in a competitive, sealed proposal situation if this type of oversight had occurred. So
Thank you,
Just for the
Mr. Hall.
record.
We appreciate you taking care of that and notifying the folks that had provided responses. Thank you very much. Commissioners, I see a light. Is that Vice Chair Powers?
Yes, Madam Chair, I would move that as far as a schedule that, as far as public information responses to RFP filed in the docket in the DMS, that those responses be no later than 4:45 p.m. on Friday, August 19th. Questions from parties for prospective third-party consultants and experts in above referenced docket filed with the commission by Friday, September 9th, 2022. Questions from commissioners for prospective third-party consultants and experts issued in the hearing officer directive by Friday, September 9th, 2022. Public interviews of prospective third-party consultants and experts at a special commission business meeting Monday, September 19th, 2022. Feedback related to public interviews from parties filed with the commission by 3 p.m. Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. Final written conflicts check letter from prospective third-party consultants filed with the commission by 3 p.m. Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. Commission decision regarding hiring third-party consultant, regular commission business meeting on Thursday, September 29th, 2022. I would further move that the chief clerk is ordered to amend the schedule should any scheduling conflicts arise, and would give the chief clerk that authority.
Thank you, Commissioner, or Vice Chair Powers. Commissioners, we've heard the motion by Vice Chair Powers. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion carries.
Madam Chair, that completes the utilities agenda before the commission today.
Thank you. Just a moment, Mr. Scarborough. Mr. Scarborough. Mr. Hall, we appreciate you being here today. You may leave at any time.
Thank you, ma'am. You all have a great afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Mr. Scarborough.
Yes, ma'am. Moving on to the motor carrier agenda. Item number 1 is in docket number 2022-251T. It is the application of Reedy River Movers, LLC for a Class E household goods certificate.
Commissioners, we've heard item number 1 on the transportation agenda as identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion?
Chair Bell, sir, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Thank you. I move that the commission grant the application of Reedy Rivers Movers LLC for a Class E household goods certificate. This Class E household goods certificate grants Reedy River Movers LLC authority to provide motor carrier services as follows between points and places in South Carolina. I find that Reedy River Movers LLC is fit, willing, and able to provide the service to the public as requested. I find a certificate shall be issued by the Office of Regulatory Staff upon Reedy River Movers LLC complying with South Carolina Code annotated section 58-23-10 as amended and the applicable regulations for motor carriers, South Carolina Code annotated regs volume 10, 2012 as amended, and the requirements listed in Exhibit A, which are attached to this directive. The company's maximum rates as filed in its application shall be posted on the Commission's website and attached as Order Exhibit 1. The company's bill of lading as filed in its application shall be attached as Exhibit 2. I so move.
Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner C. Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Items 2 through 4 are all applications for Class C certificates. Staff recommends that items 2 through 4 be taken together, and I will review them for the commission. Item number 2 is in docket number 2022-252T. It is the application of Purvis Services LLC for a Class C non-emergency certificate. Item number 3 is in docket number 2022-253T. It is the application of Spike Juniors Airport Transport LLC for a Class C charter certificate. Item number 4 is in docket number 2022-257T. This is the application of Shuttle Myrtle Beach LLC for a Class C taxi certificate.
Thank you, Mr. Scarborough. Commissioners, we've heard the items identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Excuse me, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston. I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's quite all right. I move that the commission approve the application for Class C certificates in item numbers 2 through 4 as listed by Mr. Scarborough.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Items 5 through 8 are all requests for extensions of time to comply with Commission rules and regulations. Staff recommends that items 5 through 8 be taken together, and I will review them for the Commission. Item number 5 appears in docket number 2022-359T and is the request of Dexter Williams, doing business as Train to Go Movers, for an extension of time to comply with Commission rules and regulations. Item number 6 is in docket number 2022-147T. This is the request of Rush Hour Logistics LLC for a 60-day extension of time to comply with Commission rules and regulations. Item number 7 is in docket number 2022-64T. This is the request of Elite Movers LLC, doing business as Kevin's Moving, for an extension of time until October the 24th, 2022, to comply with Commission rules and regulations. Item number 8 is in docket number 2022-112T. This is the request of Hunt Medical Transportation LLC for a 90-day extension of time to comply with Commission rules and regulations.
Commissioners, we've heard items 5 through 8 on the transportation agenda identified by Mr. Scarborough. Is there a motion related to these items?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Caston.
I move that the commission approve the request for extension of time for Class E and C certificates in item numbers 5 through 8 as listed by Mr. Scarborough.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Caston. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote, beginning with Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye. And before the meeting is closed, I would like to make a comment, please.
Yes, sir. Commissioner J. Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chair Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner C. Williams.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, this concludes all business notice before the Commission today.
Thank you, Mr. Scarborough. Commissioner Thomas, you're recognized.
Thank you. I would just like to thank the staff at the Public Service Commission for what they do every day. They work hard in so many different ways, from business meeting preparation to rate case preparation and many other activities. I hate to start naming people for fear of leaving someone out. And you have the people that handle the virtual meetings, the court reporters, the technical and legal staff, people working every day to get the daily activity report completed, and in so many other ways, so many people are working, and they're rarely recognized for their contributions. I just wanted to offer my sincere thanks. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. I think that all the commissioners would join in your comments, and I appreciate you making those today. Commissioner J. Williams, your light's on? Okay. It's no longer on. As this concludes the business on the agendas for today, we will close this motion. Please note that the next commission business meeting is Wednesday, August 24th at 2 p.m. Thank you. Have a good week. We're adjourned.